For as long as I can remember, every rapper I listen to on SoundCloud has had allegations. It's actually pretty crazy. Name a rapper, I'll throw you at least one allegation. You could even have a drinking game with how many allegations some of these guys have. Summers and Autumn have underage allegations. Can was literally arrested. Lil Tracy has R-word allegations. Lucky had R-word allegations. I remember years ago when I was in middle school, Famous Dex got caught in 4K doing something to his girl. He also has a song where he says, "I catch your girl and I Ssgkobe her," which is really weird. Like, these guys have no chill. So naturally, I was just thinking, how many of these guys have actually had their careers get screwed over because of these actions? By the way, just a disclaimer, the rappers, except for the Famous Dex stuff that I just mentioned, these are all allegations and pretty much all of them are mostly innocent. Even Dex's technically are just allegations because he was never convicted. So they actually are all innocent. But out of the guys who actually did do something, how many of these guys have actually faced some sort of consequences? Well, that brings us into today's video. Underground rappers that have ruined their careers. This video could be an hour long because there's no shortage of idiots on SoundCloud. Whether it's crazy allegations, horrible decisions, or they're just downright losers. Usually it's a combination of these. Underground rappers are no strangers to throwing their life down the drain. So today I'm going to go over some rappers who not only would have done alright, they honestly could have flourished if they just played their cards right. First up, we got Ssgkobe, because not only did he ruin his career, it also didn't just happen for one reason. It was a combination of the reasons I stated earlier. Crazy allegations, horrible decisions, and actually, he's not a loser. But before we get into Ssgkobe's cataclysmic falloff, let me give you some background. I remember listening to Kobe in like 2019, but I'd heard of him even before that. Ssgkobe was making music from a very young age, all the way back to 2016 and 2017. He has collabs with guys like Lil Shine and David Shoddy, dating all the way back to then. Then he started working with guys that are well known in the underground now, like Autumn, Summers, Walland, Can, and more. He was an established name and has been making music since he was a kid. Then around 2019, he started switching up his sound to more mainstream type beats and dropped songs like What You Doing, Nurse, and eventually he got some pretty big songs thanks to TikTok like MIA and Thrax, eventually getting managed by Zach Bia and signing a deal, getting a Lyrical Lemonade video, you know. And things were going pretty well for him. He genuinely had a chance to make the leap from underground to mainstream. He had everything aligned for him. But unfortunately, he slowly started to fall off when his music started to get worse. I don't know, he was just hopping on these Destroy Lonely type beats and the flow of his songs was just terrible, and he was kind of singing, kind of not singing, but you know, he wasn't trash or anything, just not as good as the previous year. Then, out of nowhere, these allegations came out that he R-worded a girl, and it all came crashing down from there. So apparently Kobe slid up this girl's DMs, was like, "Yo, come to the studio, we're gonna record, have fun." I'm pretty sure she's an artist as well. We're gonna have a great time, and they FaceTimed. She thought he was pretty chill. After that, he allegedly pressured her into having, basically, yeah, he R-worded her allegedly, and she said she felt pressured, yada yada yada. There are even texts of him apologizing if she felt some type of way. But months later, after all the mob mentality stuff has faded away from the internet, and the groupthink mentality is gone from my mind, judging by those texts, something definitely went down, and that's all I can really say. But how Kobe chose to respond was really what would be detrimental for his career. He had a long-awaited album that was about to drop. Obviously that went down the drain, but this guy just disappeared from social media, completely ghost, no response, nothing, no message to his fans. I don't know who was advising this guy, but they gave him the worst advice imaginable. By going ghost, he was neither apologizing nor denying the allegations. Actually, he might have made a quick story on Instagram denying it, but that was it. It made everyone just go, yeah, this guy's guilty. Because what would someone with a guilty conscience do in that situation? They would act the exact same way Kobe acted. After that, Ssgkobe didn't drop any music for months, and finally months later, he dropped a response on Discord to his Discordkins, and my response was like, "Yo, Discord of all places, like what is wrong with you? He really just threw his career down the drain." Fast forward to today, he's been posting songs recently. A couple of them were alright, but the damage was already done. Like seriously, people would literally say, "Oh bro, Ssgkobe to a girl," like it's nothing to refer to someone, you know, doing that. It's pretty bad, and his reputation will likely never recover unless he can go on another insane run, which is unlikely. Something a lot of people don't know is Lucky had allegations similar to Ssgkobe. Basically, just like Ssgkobe, there was a girl who claimed Lucky R-worded her in 2015 with no evidence. He immediately took to Instagram the next day, cleared it up, and the older comments were all saying stuff like, "God damn, this is disgusting. I hope this isn't true. Really sucks if he actually did this." And because of how well he handled it, now everyone in the comments is like, "Fake allegations make me so mad. No way they tried to slander our GOAT, Ssgkobe." cartoon would never do this when none of the info changed. It's just the perspective of the fans because of how he handled it. And yeah, the allegations seem a bit more real towards Kobe because of the text messages of him apologizing, or maybe he's just a nice guy, I don't know. But if we're being honest, he should have kept it pushing. By the way, I'm not exonerating him or anything, and I definitely don't rock with that type of behavior. The whole situation just seems a little sus to me. Kobe would have been fine if he just, kept going, but his label dropped him. That's actually why he stopped dropping music, and he was doing pretty horrible for months after that situation transpired. So yeah, he still has some fans, a little buzz, but I don't know if he'll ever get to the position he was just a couple years ago, with multiple Lyrical Lemonade videos, TikTok hits, and people in the industry backing him as a young star ready to blow up. Okay, next up we got Vamp Leak / Lifeless Garments, and I'm gonna make a full video on this guy because I want to talk about him more, but let's get over his allegations, and I'll tell you a little bit about him too. Lifeless Garments, by the way, I have no idea why he renamed himself that. That name is just so random. But anyways, Lifeless Garments was a rapper that used to go by Vamp Leak, and he started rapping in 2021 or 2020, I think. He was on that vamp wave, I guess you could say, and had a decent buzz. His music was pretty cool, but then these screenshots dropped, and it was some of the weirdest stuff I've seen in a while. When you come out here, I'm gonna drink, and you, while you're in contact, I'm not even gonna read the next message. That's all. The first one was already kind of crazy for me. I'm low-key hella into, read that, play. Like, come sit here on, lap with my favorite of yours. Let me read you a book. Yeah, you gotta read the rest for yourself. It's pretty bad. I don't even know where to begin. The thing about these is these aren't allegations. This is stone cold proof. They caught this guy in 4K. He's admitting that he's into seriously weird illegal stuff. Like, why would you say you're into Ssgkobe being a girl? And saying you're into little kids, like, come on, bro. Seriously? You publicly, actually it was on a spam, but basically publicly said you were into, people under 18. Just weird. The thing about this that really makes me think he's a weirdo is there are actually people out there. You might even be friends with someone that's into weird stuff. Like, they have weird fetishes or fantasies, but they would never ever admit it. They would never admit they're into that kind of stuff. And for good reason, because it's super weird, right? But this guy just went out there and said it. Also, this is only what got exposed, so there's probably way more. I feel like I don't really have to say much more about how weird this is. I feel like you guys get the picture. Sorry I had to blur a bunch of parts, but use context clues I left behind or just look it up on Google. As for his career, he's been doing better than ever. His music's still getting streamed, but those screenshots are a stain on his career. Not even a stain, it's a giant ugly wart. It's just impossible to ignore. There's just no way he'll ever get huge with these, because every time he gets talked about a little or has a little bit of buzz, these screenshots get brought up. And no, I'm not gonna mess with a guy as weird as that. Like, what the hell? Like, and if you do after knowing it, it's up to you, but I do think some of his music is good. It's just really weird. What's even funnier is that Ian Connor, known for his allegations, co-signed him and called him the future or something. So to sum it up, he fumbled the bag with these screenshots, and he's never gonna become huge with stuff like this out on the internet. And he's not some super likable guy either, where people will ignore it.
I'm waiting. Hello. Come on. Show me some in them tight leggings. I can't wait.
DOMD, or Diamonds on My Pecker. So I'm not going to talk about all of his allegations or even give you a summary of them, because there are at least hundreds, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's like crazy. I go over them way more in depth in this other video, The Influence of RCB, but here's some of them. Let's start with the most serious and stuff that's actually messed up, to then what's normal for a SoundCloud rapper. First of all, he's an R-worder. He's a lover of children, if you know what I mean. He allegedly got neck from a 17-year-old. Yeah, and there are DMs of him admitting he got neck from a 17-year-old. He's an abuser and a manipulator. Basically, he's the most horrible person you can imagine. Just a straight up bum, like scum of the earth. He's one of those guys that if you didn't know from the internet and just saw in real life, you'd be like, this guy's a loser. Like, just what's wrong with him? So other than that, he's into cats and has this weird anime personality, even though he's like 30 years old. Then on top of that, this guy cannot go without scamming people. What's crazy is it's over small petty things like merch, shirts, random items, features, open verses, little stuff. And the funniest part is rappers who scam normally will do some features or some opens, or they'll sell some people legit stuff, so their reputation isn't completely ruined. They just scam people sometimes to get their bread up. It's honestly kind of smart, even though it's messed up. By the way, DOMD is so hated that it's all documented on the RCB subreddit. So DOMD just scams people every single time. Like, if you've never been scammed before and are curious to find out what it feels like, just send him a DM on Instagram asking him to buy something, a piece of merchandise, a feature, and he will jug you and probably block you too. That's another thing about him. He blocks everyone and their mom. You could just view his story a little early and he'll block you. I saw this thing on Reddit the other day. Some guy speedran getting blocked by DLMD. I could go on and on about how much of a bum he is. If you want to know the full story, watch my video called The Influence of RCB. You'll find out everything in that video. Half of it is like compilation of him just getting cooked. But aside from all that, he has underage allegations. He's an R-word, a horrible guy that just scams his fans constantly for cash. And due to those reasons, everything that's coming to him is deserved. So recently, he hasn't really dropped much. He's totally fallen off. His music isn't even good anymore. And to be honest, he's a disgrace that ruined his life by being weird. A lot of his old music is actually really good. Also, he's Black Cray's cousin. Lastly, we have Space Ghost Perp, and I'm just gonna go over him briefly because no matter what, SGP is still the GOAT. Like bro is so goated and he's funny as hell. His fall off is kind of like Ssgkobe Boy's. Like, he fell off, but if you don't like Ssgkobe Boy, unless he's personally done something to you, you are probably lame. It's the same way with SGP. SGP was the founder of Raider Clan and he used to be best friends with A$AP Rocky. Unfortunately, he has a lot of mental health issues and that caused the downfall of his career. He was never able to do well commercially, and because of his mental health, he couldn't maintain any relationships. He was best friends with A$AP Rocky. He started accusing Rocky of stealing his lyrics, biting his swag, and saying A$AP Mob was biting Raider Clan, which is actually arguable. But anyways, Rocky cut him off, and after they started beefing, he went on to become an A-list rapper. Since then, SGP has just been beefing with everyone. Every month he's beefing with someone new. Not even beefing, just clowning on them on Twitter. As of today, he barely even drops. He's just mentally unstable and uses Twitter way too much. But he's actually mad funny, so yeah. So before I end this video, I have to give some honorable mentions. I'd give one to Youngster Jack because of what happened to him. If you know, I'm not going to go into explaining it. So before I end this video, I just want to say that if you learned anything from this video, unless you're just a horrible person like DOMD, when it comes to your career getting ruined, it completely depends on how you react to the situation. If you just keep it pushing, move on, and move how you would normally move, you'll be fine, which is messed up if you think about it, but it's just how it is. If you think I'm missing anyone, comment down below, and I might even make a part 2 if you comment enough names. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.